my friends are turning green. You're the magician's assistants in their dreams. Now.
It's very good.
Ratings.
Yeah, that's very good. Well done.
Levels. Yo, people, welcome back to CHATABOX, the #1 ever growing podcast hosted by the wholesome couple, myself, Mr. Bailey London, and the one and only
Mrs. Kaira. Man. wait, do it again. Start again.
No, that's it. We're running with it.
Start again.
We're back in the flat today, coming off the back of last week's episode, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
I loved last week's episode. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed it as well. Yeah, it was fun to film, fun to even edit the clips. I've enjoyed watching it back.
Also, I was talking about things that I wanted to, like, just in my day to day, as opposed to thinking about what to talk about, which I thought was quite nice. So I hope they did enjoy it, and I definitely, regardless if they did or didn't, I want to do some more.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I didn't have to, like, my every week, like, you lot don't know this. You might know this. But what?
Go on.
You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
Every week's like a struggle for me and the outfit.
Yeah, but the thing is, what's hilarious about that is every week you've worn a white t-shirt. So
Exactly.
I don't know why you think that's a struggle.
But like,
it's not a struggle if you've got no choice.
Well, yeah. But some of them, like, just now I ironed 2 white t-shirts and they weren't white. Do you know what I mean?
You always get on to me about washing. Now, I know, Dawn, if you're watching this,
Mumsy.
all props to Dawn. She is very good at washing, right? And I'm not. I'm just not. It's not my, I wouldn't say it's my forte. I wouldn't say it's something
Would
I'm
you
good
go
at.
as far to say you're hapless?
No, I'm not hapless at it because I'm not useless. It's not like I can't do washing. It's just that I'm not.
But
like
was that the correct use of the word hapless?
No, not really. I wouldn't use it in that context.
Right, cool.
But yeah, like I feel as though, like my mum's really good at washing. Like she's so good at washing. My mum's washing smells incredible, especially bear in mind that she's a smoker as well. So it's like, but the clothes that my mum's
Your
clothes,
mum uses extra
oh
washing.
my god, she uses the detergent, the softener, then she uses the little balls, and then she puts in something else in there, and then she probably sprays it again as it's drying, and she uses tumble dryer sheets. Do you know what I mean? My mum's washing smells impeccable, and your mum's washing is always soft and smells good.
When I was
as well.
growing up in school, I used to get a lot of compliments.
Is it?
From girls saying that my clothes
Here we
always
go.
smell nice. No, yeah.
So what was this?
But
Sorry, curly haired Bailey.
Yeah, that was curly haired. Not even Bailey. This was before Bailey was a
Okay,
thing. This was
right.
a young kid.
Right.
Just going to like school.
Yeah.
Sort of like. But girls used to always comment.
Yeah.
No, it didn't happen all the time, but I grown up thinking, I always used to think I smelled good clothes wise because I'd got the mention. And that I had good teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Growing up, people used to always like say to me, "Did you have braces?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Why have you got such straight
People
teeth?"
used to say that to me as well. They did.
Whatever.
I do. What, do you think I've got wonky teeth?
Do you know that when you asked that, then you were like this? So show me your teeth. You don't have one. Well, they're not straight. Your bottom set aren't straight.
Yeah, these aren't, but that's a recent thing. And neither are yours.
And my bottom set.
Your bottom set are not straight, babe.
Aren't they?
No, they're
My
like
top
mine.
set.
They overlap. The top set are, yeah. Yeah, you got a bit of parsley in the bottom as well.
Have I?
Yeah. From our parsley lunch. But what I was going to say is that also, so your mum's really good at washing. My mum's really good at washing. My nan to this day uses Daz. Do you know Daz?
Is that a good thing?
You know the red
square.
The red square with just Daz in it. It's just such an old school thing, and that smell to me is like old washing smell.
You might see me holding Kaira's hand a few times in this episode. That's just stop
I'm worried about it falling
fiddling
off.
with your mic.
Yeah. So yeah, washing, but it's just not a skill that I am yet to master. Like I do washing,
Our
but
kids
I
are gonna be
don't.
screwed, innit?
I don't do ironing.
Yeah, our kids are done.
But that to me is where if that's something that's important to you, you are able to take that on.
It's not.
Well, you want your kids.
I'm 36. I don't care anymore. But I'm saying our kid
Yeah.
is still got to go through school, and if they're gonna grow up with a
So what I
mum,
decided is if they go through school and they've got
That's not on it.
white shirts, then
Yeah.
I will just dry clean that.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't want them to go in with like grey shirts.
No.
But I'm not committed to washing 5 shirts a week and doing the ironing. I'm just not committed to it. And you know what? I know I looked at our stats the other day. I know it's an 81% male audience of subscribers.
Big up all the man them.
I don't know
subscribe button.
I don't know if
What's
that
wrong
means,
with you females?
I don't know if that is reflective of our actual audience, but in terms of subscribers. So if you are a woman that watches this repeatedly, subscribe, because you're not being represented in the subscription statistics. However, I know that me saying, I'm not practicing ironing, that there's going to be all of those 81% of subscribers that are going to be like, leave her, Bailey, she's not a real one. But the thing is that I do other things as well, you know?
She doesn't iron.
I don't iron. And also, didn't I told you that on the first date? Do you remember? I did.
You told me on the first day you don't iron.
On the first date that we went on, I said I like cooking. I will clean because people have to clean.
Was you applying for a job?
No, but I just said that like my one thing, and I always say this to anyone, is don't expect me to be doing up ironing. It's not for me. Like my nan irons like dusters and socks.
My mum irons
Who the fuck
pants.
That's what I'm saying. Who the fuck has time to be ironing your fucking boxers?
Yeah.
If you can't throw out your boxers and they've got holes in them, why am I ironing them?
Fair.
What a waste of time.
I've never asked you to iron anything.
I know, I'm just putting it out there, just in case there's some haters that want to say it.
Take the hate. Take the hate.
Take the hate and the love at the same time.
What are we talking about in this week's episode?
Well, I would like to do a 180 flip reverse. Oh, what was that song? Do you remember? Hey, I want to see you work it, baby.
Get me my ukulele.
I want to do it, baby.
Yeah.
What was that?
I have no idea.
Yeah, you do.
I have no idea.
Blazing Squad.
That
I'm going to flip, reverse it.
Nah.
Was that not a song they did?
It might be. I only knew one song of them. It was like pum 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 pum. That's Bone Fox and Harmony, innit?
Oh yeah, that's not them.
What was the Blazing Squad track that everyone knew? It wasn't that.
It was
What was that? It was a remix of that.
What name? Blazing Squad.
It was a remix of that Bones, Fogs and Harmony track, no?
Put in a
What,
bit
you don't remember?
I'm sure. I want to see you work it, baby. I want to hand in front of baby. I want to bet the boot your body, burn it, baby. I'm going to flip reverse it.
Never heard of it in my life.
You don't remember this? Wait for it. I want to see you work it, baby. Wait.
Yeah, turn it off. Copywritten. I don't think I've ever heard that song in my life.
Shout out Blazing Squad. Don't know where you're at now, but I hope you're doing well.
I reckon, but if I had to guess, I'd say, how many members were there?
About 8.
All right, I can't account for 8. Whoever was doing the best,
yeah,
is probably doing a podcast right now.
Yeah, one of them's in rehab.
Oh, I didn't even consider that some of them might have fallen that badly, like rehab and jail or dead.
Yeah.
But definitely think they're in some form of presenting or podcasting.
Maybe. I think it's probably the other way, to be honest. Have you not seen that guy that fell off from, I think it was A1? The little, like, rappy one. He is, like, big time, like, threw his Mobo in the bin, recorded it, big time conspiracy theorist, won't let people in his house.
See, this is what
the one that went out with Daniela Westbrook.
Kaira. This is what I'm scared that I'm turning into.
What?
I feel like it's definitely an age thing. People turn into conspiracy theorists and start shutting out the world.
I've been saying this. If you are an OG listener, you know I've been telling you from way back in studio days that you're turning into.
But what is it though? What is it that does it? Because it's not just the age. It's like if life's beating you up, innit? I think people that go through something. It's what we said about my dad, innit? Mm-hmm. We said he lost control of his life. Mm-hmm. And that's what leads you to latch on to something. Yeah. So for this person, and even for me and my fear, it's like, even when you said to me yesterday, Kaira gave me a whole pep talk about like this sort of stuff, identity, and you've boxed yourself in, and it's true, because I'm turning into, it's like you said, I'm out of the matrix. That's conspiracy talk. even call it what you want, but like, what is it? Because I'm saying these people, A1's fallen off. He's a conspiracy theorist. But I fell off. I'm a conspiracy theorist.
It's because, like, when we did our conspiracy episode, if you haven't watched it, here is a link to watch it. It was a good one. But when we did that, we spoke about why people are more susceptible to believing it, and it's because they become disillusioned with reality.
But I don't think you can always call it disillusioned, because I think sometimes, and this is my conspiracy talking, sometimes people awaken to the bullshit of reality and don't want to play the game anymore.
But that's kind of what disillusioned means, like, as in, like, they're no longer under the illusion of, like, if you work hard, you get what you want and good things happen to good people. They kind of wake up to be like, no, like, the world is fucked. And then it's like, once you start to realize the world is fucked, all of a sudden you're then like, oh, but this, oh, but that. And then I think it just opens you up into believing more things are fucked. And also it takes you away from having any sort of, like, personal responsibility in the situation, which, if you're going through something difficult, it's better. It's easier.
I fully think I'm in the middle of that, you know. I fully think that.
I think for a while I was concerned.
I'm on the cusp of that.
I think for a while I was concerned that you are.
I'm on the cusp.
You were, but...
I'm on the cusp.
Okay.
I'm on the fuck the world.
Is this a cry for help? I don't know.
Keep an eye on me, people.
I'm trying.
Keep an eye on me.
Stop saying things like that. You'll make people worried, and then they'll hate me even more.
Worried about what?
That you're losing it.
No, I don't think I'm losing it. I just think I'm the step before becoming a deep conspiracy. I'm already. And I also
think that a part of the gateway drug is jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu might be part of that.
Yeah.
The people that you hang around with.
So before we started speaking about Blazing Squad, I actually had... Oh, wait, turn towards me. Oh, it's gone now. There was something on your shirt. I was going to hit you. Before we started speaking about...
Sorry.
It wasn't on my head.
It did. It literally landed on your forehead. I didn't get it though. So may I come back?
You're just trying to get me back for slapping your bald head. Anyway, this is not going to make any sense for you to edit. Before we started speaking about Blazing Squad, the reason I said it is because I wanted to do a flip reverse, and I wanted to do recommendations at the beginning of the show as opposed to the end of the show, because it's one of my favourite segments. And sometimes if you don't get to listen to the end, no judgment, I get it, then you might miss the fact that we're doing this amazing segment, and you might miss our Recommendoos and RecommenDONTs.
Go on then.
So we finished watching a series called This City Is Ours.
Ratings out of 10?
Ratings out of 10. I'm going to give it like... Well, I don't know, because it's very hard when you start ratings, because when you go serious, like when you go top level and then you try and get something else, and then it's, do you know what I mean? It's hard to start a scoreboard.
It's easier to set it off. Off the jump, does this new series that we've just completed sit anywhere within your top 5?
No.
So, okay. So that's a good one to say, because
it doesn't, but then I have issues with the top 5 thing, because I have top 5s for different things. So like top 5 comedy series, top 5 dramas, top 5 UK dramas, top 5, do you know what I mean? Reality series, they're all different for me. So, you know. Anyway, a rating out of 10, I'm going to give it a solid 8.
8?
That's what I mean, though. It's hard to do ratings.
Yeah, forget ratings if you're going to be giving out silly numbers like that. 8. Let's go out of 5 then. Make it easier.
Make it out of 5?
Yeah. 5 stars.
Get
it? I'd give it a 4-star.
Which is the equivalent of
an 8. But it's better than an 8. An 8 is too high.
4 out of 5. Just so you know, 5. Basic maths.
3.5.
4 out of 5 is the equivalent of 8 out of 10. You dick. If you're going to give out silly numbers like that, dickheads.
I give it a 3.5.
All right, so let's explain to people what it is. So it is a BBC drama. Tom
Hardy.
No, it's not Tom Hardy. We've done that. What are you talking about?
Don't spit at me. What are you
talking about?
What program are you talking about? What program are you talking about?
What I said, This City Is Ours. You're just not even on this planet.
This City Is Ours. Who was in that then?
This City Is Ours is different to Mobland. Mobland is what we spoke about last time. We've already recommended that.
This City Is Ours. What
This
is that?
City Is Ours is the one with Michael. Right. I can't say all of that.
Do your recommend while I catch up on who it is. Maybe you'll recommend.
Okay, so This City Is Ours, BBC drama. Now, we started off watching Mobland, and this is why Bailey's getting confused, basically, because similar premise of the fact that it's to do with it's to do with two crime families who are arguing and like, you know, battling to be on top. So it's similar premise. However, if you liked Mobland, it's a good series to watch after, but then they are similar. But what I would say is that This City Is Ours is more gritty. The storyline, I think, is a little bit more... Like, when you got Tom Hardy and Meryl Streep, like, the script was very dramatic and very, like... It was a great watch, Mobland, loved it. But This City Is Ours is a little bit more gritty, a bit more BBC drama vibes. And less Hollywood, and I thought it was really good.
I thought it was good, but now I know what we're talking about. It doesn't get a 4 or 8.
Okay,
it was more of a 3.5.
3.5. Okay, or a 3.
Even a 3.
Okay, let's give it a 3.
Which is good.
It's good. I'm still saying it is a recommend do because I like the main guy in it, the actor.
I would recommend that to anyone who's a serial series watcher, like me and Kaira.
Yeah.
But if you're stuck on time and you've only got a little bit of time to watch a few things, there's other things I'd put.
There's definitely other things prioritized, but I do think it was good. Okay, next. I don't know if this is a recommend do or a recommend don't.
Go on.
So I'm going to say it, and then you can tell them whether you think it's a recommend do or recommend don't.
Tell me.
Sinners. Don't beat around the bush now.
I could have done with not seeing Sinners.
So it's a recommend don't.
No, because it's not something I'd say don't watch. It's just like I think films are just, you could just watch. Films don't take up much of your time.
It's still 2 hours. You could be doing anything else.
Yeah, but...
It was 2 hours and 15 minutes.
It's a recommend do because it's 2 hours. If it dragged out, if that was anything longer. But you know what it is with that film? It started off so sick. Yeah. Sinners, like, because I didn't even know. It's not just come out, has it?
It came out, like, semi-recently. People were talking about it.
Yeah, I saw more people talking about it than any... I didn't see any trailers or anything. I just heard people. So I didn't know what I was talking about. And I watched it not seeing a trailer.
Yeah, I didn't. I actually went into it completely blind.
Yeah, so we went into it blind. And for the first, I'd say 60% of the film, or maybe even 70%, we was like, this is like a recommend do. It's pretty good. Remember, we watched half of it and you couldn't wait to get back and finish watching it. And then it just turns into what it is. And then I'm like, oh.
Yeah, so for those that haven't seen it but want to, obviously I don't want to give it away too much. But
Michael B. Jordan.
It does, yeah, it's got Michael B. Jordan.
Girls, what's
times
better than,
2.
What's one better? Oh, my joke you just stole.
Sorry. God, do you want to say it? You
No.
can crop me out.
No.
Oh, you didn't get in there fast enough.
Yeah, I didn't.
So it's got Michael B. Jordan in it and a few other famous faces, right?
I couldn't tell you one other.
Few others, I think. But anyway, and the thing is, it's set, I think, just after the abolition of slavery, or there's like, it's set where there are places in America where there are free people, and then also where
black people. Yeah,
and there's also slavery still existing. So I don't know if it's, I'm not quite sure, but it is a period film. However, it started off and I was like really in the mood for that. Like they set it up really well. The styling was good. Like we're setting it up and it almost had a little bit of a like, not a country and western feel to it.
Right, it started off, it reminded me of, is it called Outlaws? Outlaws, yeah. It reminded me of that kind of film.
Yeah. So like started off with that and then it kind of comes in with this supernatural undercurrent. Right, which comes in and kind of turns the film into a bit more of a
comedy horror.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't a comedy horror.
Yeah,
but it wasn't scary. And
but
it wasn't
I think what they were trying to do,
it was weird. They was trying to jump on the Get Out kind of vibes.
Yeah, but then do you know what? The main vampire used to play Cook in Skins, and I used to love him, which is funny, yeah, because everyone is like, oh, Michael B. Jordan. I've never had a thing for Michael B. Jordan. I've never understood the, like, I've never got it. And I know I'm going to anger a lot of people when I say this, but I say this all the time.
Even angering me as
I don't get it.
I'm sitting there thinking, you're chatting shit.
I honestly don't get it.
Chatting shit.
I could tell you other male celebrities that I think are attractive, but with him, like, honestly, I think he's a good actor. Fruitvale Station, fucking fantastic film. Like, I think he's a good actor. But I like the way girls are like, oh my God, Michael B. Jordan, the one and only. I would drop pant for him in 10 seconds. I don't get it. He looks like any guy on Croydon High Street.
It's a lie. He does. Shape up. It's immaculate. For me, I think Michael B. Jordan he played his role good. He's a good actor.
No.
I thought he done well in it.
Think about what you said.
What?
Be real.
Oh, no, yeah. He lost me in that part. When he had to, like, shake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said he was overacting, and
right,
this is how I know you're not genuine, because you're just
I am genuine.
lying.
I'm just saying what I remember.
Do you think Michael's watching? You think he's watching? You think he's gonna give you a bit part? You sucker.
No, I remember thinking it was good. Like, the first half of the film was good.
No, because
I thought my only critique was where the story went, but now you're reminding me, that was bad.
Not only that, though, what we said is that he's playing twins, right?
Yeah.
There was no distinction between the twins.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna be, if you're so big,
no, but he was playing identical twins, so they need to be identical.
No,
with a slight
disagree.
difference. No, I know twins in real life that if you don't know them well enough, you will not know who's who.
I don't think that's effective for a film. So it's either his issue as an actor or it's the writing, because, and I say this to say it, and I know they were different characters, but look at Tom Hardy and The Craze.
Yeah, but their characters in real life were distinctly different.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't think these twins that in The Sinners were based on anyone, were they? They're just twins. So maybe they was written in as identical twins. So he just played himself twice.
Yeah, I
changed his outfit.
That didn't. And the thing is, it's all to do with, like, I did a little bit of background reading into it. There was something to do with the fact that twins are meant to be cursed in some, like, in Africa. They think that when you have twins.
Really?
Yeah, it's
kill one of them.
Traditionally.
Would they kill one?
I don't know, but I think they're seen as like a manifestation of evil. In general, in like some parts of Africa traditionally. So I think they were trying to like play into that. But in my opinion, if you're going to have twins in a series or a film, like, it's got to add something. And it's got to be, I just don't, like, to me, just one had a green hat on and one had a red hat on, but I kept
There wasn't ever any scenes where they like used the twin thing.
Other than them being connected.
Where?
Like, you know, like when they were fighting and like they didn't want to fight each other and he was really upset.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, like it was okay. And the thing is I have other things that I want to say about it. I wrote them down. I don't even need to
get them out, because you've been excited. She's been excited to do RecommenDO so much today that she's like, all she kept saying is RecommenDO, and she's shoved it in front. Get your phone out and read it.
It's not necessarily that. It's more the fact that when we watched it, you don't even remember that you didn't even think he was a good actor in it. But I remember we finished the film and I went to say something. I said, I'm going to wait until CHATABOX. And then we did our jiu-jitsu episode and we didn't do RecommenDOs.
Right, cool.
So that's why, because we didn't have, usually we watch stuff
tell us.
and then we have a debrief, and we didn't have a debrief. So I saved it. So I'm going to say something that maybe is not that popular.
What?
Okay. But we know that what they were doing is they were making, quote unquote, I don't know what else you would call it, a black film. Yeah, because at the moment, that's what they set, like, whenever there's these films, like, for example, like Get Out and whatever, when the cast and the production and everything like that is seen as a black film, right? So I felt like there was this undertone of, like, points that were trying to be proved, and there's been lots of think pieces about it, right? That's afterwards. If you look into it...
Wait, can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
Is this one of those films that's like Black Panther, where it's like a black film? So if you critique it, black people are like, oh...
I don't know, maybe. Probably.
Oh, go on. I didn't know that.
Probably. I don't know. But all I'm trying to say is that if this wasn't intentional... And that what I'm about to say moving forward, there's no way it can't be intentional.
Go on.
Right? So if you are yet to watch it and you don't want to hear this spoiler, maybe skip forward 3-4 minutes. But
how long are you going to talk about it?
I don't know, because I didn't know how to suggest. You're making the flow of this very hard.
You are. Say your point. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. When the vampires come to try and get them, who's the person that lets them through? Who's the first person that lets them in? Trying to use your brain.
She screamed, "Coming in."
No, before that. Okay, you were not paying attention. The first person who's been given a hard time about being there the whole time.
Oh, the light-skinned woman.
Is the mixed race woman in the show. And they give her a whole hard time. She obviously was sleeping with one of the brothers. She then, which was normal at the time, was passing as white and was married to a white man in the film. We never see him, but that's the story that's given to us, right? And there's this whole thing about, they used to call mixed race people back then mulattoes, right? And which is where, Lato, the rapper, gets her name from. Anyway, that's what they used to call them. And there was this whole thing about them saying how she was accepted, right? But then she goes out and speaks to the white people who are the vampires outside, and then she almost like comes in and she looks completely normal because the vampires are able to do it, and then she brings the disease into the place. And I really do think like it made me just go like eye roll, because they showed her as this person the whole time that has nowhere to belong, and she's begging to be let into the black place, and she's saying, I don't care what anyone says, I'm black, like this. And it's like all this thing. And then, of course, it has to be the mixed race woman who is the seductress, is the temptress, is the stupid one that goes outside and brings in the vampires or whatever. Like, there was just the undertone of that, which I'm like, I get it. And there is this like thing of, if you were a lighter slave, you would be favored, and all. We know what colorism is. We understand the privileges that come with it. But it did just make me eye roll of like, I knew that was going to happen. Like, as soon as I knew they were vampires, straight away I was like, she's going to be the first one, and she's going to be seen as the one that infiltrates it.
Maybe that's because that was been the best script. That sounds like if you was to write the story, that's how you would have done it.
I just think it was unoriginal. Me personally, I just feel like it's playing into narratives that we constantly are going back and forth over. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying colorism doesn't exist and that there's not privileges that come with it, but I just felt like...
Is this the start of our light skin movement?
No.
Oh.
It's just me saying it's noticeable. And then, second to that, who was the woman who, don't get me wrong, pissed me off when she did it, because it was so unnecessary. But who was the one that let them all in? The Chinese woman.
Oh, don't get me started about the Chinese.
So what?
I'm just being stupid, sorry.
So, but what I'm saying is like the undertone of it is saying that like, basically it's when we let other races in, they will always betray you. Like that is what the message is. And no, that's what the message. And if you look into the think pieces, there's lots of people that are saying about it, which is like, this is like such an important film to show how the black community needs to keep their things in place, because look what happens when they let the light skinned woman in, and look what happens when
Is that what people are saying?
Yeah, and they're saying...
See, I think that's all dumb, yeah, because for like, it's a little bit of a sidestep from the topic, but I don't know if I've said this on podcast, or I might have said it to you, but I think anything like women only or black only or white only, anything is an issue. That's what I think. If a black person opened up a club and only employed black staff and only let black people in, said this is a black only event, which things like this do happen, I think that is an issue. Same way I've said it before, when you guys have women only mats, although you think it's doing something good for you, you are separating yourself from us. So it's like, it's a new issue. I think topic only or like subject only anything is always a bad thing. Yeah.
I mean, I just think it's in terms, that's a slight...
Like the other day I saw the first plane driven by all female staff. The pilots are female, the staff are female, the people that check. What's the point? Why?
But was that, maybe it was coincidence of rota?
No, it was a something that they've worked hard to do. I'm like, why?
Because they're underrepresented in that field.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know because I haven't seen it. I was just a guess. But like, I do understand what you're saying. I don't know if I agree fully with that. But what I do think is interesting is that like those choices in the film were made purposefully, obviously. Right? So it's like, and don't get me wrong, if you guys have watched it, you'll know what I'm talking about. They're fine. They're in that barn and they just have to wait till morning. They just have to wait. And the Chinese woman turned around and said, fucking come in, or whatever it is she said. She invited them in. And don't get me wrong, she could have been Chinese, Indonesian, fucking Irish. It would have pissed me off. Yeah. It doesn't matter where she's from. It would have pissed me off because that was just an annoying part in the film and unnecessary. However, it was a purposeful choice to have her being Asian because the whole point of that, what they're saying is, look what happens when we don't stick to our own, basically. And it just annoyed me because I was just like, we don't need another film that, like, we can talk about the issues to do with privilege, you know, like a lack of inclusion, how important, like we can talk about those things, but we don't need another film to kind of like reinforce that point. And it's not even from a historical context because we're talking about fucking vampires. Do you get what I mean?
Can I say something to you though? I feel like, because like, this isn't coming from you, it's a forum for people, but I feel like a lot of people like me, that all that just went over my head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas it, I guess to you and the people in the forum, it was quite an eyesore. It's like something you noticed. So was it that intentional? Because it wasn't that obvious.
It's definitely intentional. Because everything that's like, I just don't think that you can go away from thinking that the majority of things that are created nowadays are not intentional.
But was that the intention?
Especially with the fact that there's money. Like there's money that's put
was
into
the intention
things.
to show that if black people let anyone else in?
What else was it to show? Because the vampires are white. The mixed race woman is light-skinned, mixed race, white passing. And the only other person that let them in is Asian. And everyone else is black. Like, there's no way that's not purposeful. There's no way. And I'm not saying, like I said, that that's not reflective of the fact that there have been lots of outside communities that have done wrong to black communities and have betrayed them. I understand the historical context of it. But I'm like, ugh.
So I didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
But was that a RecommenDO or a RecommenDONT?
For me personally, it was a RecommenDONT.
I wouldn't recommend it.
But then I did enjoy it. But it was kind of silly, but I did enjoy it. So can I just quickly do my last two before you move on?
Last two? 4 RecommenDOs?
Why not?
All right, go for it.
So I just want to say that there was 2 RecommenDOs that I have for this week. 2 of my favourite artists dropped albums this week. Loyal Kana. Love Lil Kana, I think he's amazing, and Little Sims as well. Very artistic and a little bit strange, but that's kind of her bag anyway. And there's a beautiful song written with Wretch Free 2, which is kind of a bit poetic on the album, which is like a back and forth between a brother and sister about a family dynamic, and it made me really emotional. So yeah, go and listen to Little Sims' new album and Loyal Kana. Not that they need any promotion from me, but those are my RecommenDOs musically.
Right. Last time, or 2 episodes ago, I did say I wanted to get back to addressing comments on screen. Kaira, I gave birth 5 times with not even gas in there. Don't ask me how. Not all experiences are the same. I've never heard mine being repeated. Stay positive and don't be afraid.
Can I say though, when we read those comments, yeah, I've been like, there's been a couple of women that have reached out either in comments or in my DMs to say like, reassure me and stuff. And I am going to try and be a little bit more positive about the whole pregnancy thing and whatever. However, one thing that does annoy me is that those comments are great for me to hear. But whenever he reads them, he just goes, see? Like it's fucking easy. That's what pisses me off.
Kaira will be telling me of stuff that she can't do when she's pregnant, yeah? And I'll show her like a video of a woman doing like muscle ups at 8 months pregnant.
But that's what annoys me. Is that like you take these like rare people and say, see? And I'm like, that doesn't mean anything to me. Like, great. I'm glad that that woman is able to pull a truck while she's 6 months pregnant, but that's not going to be me. So just enforces this stupid idea that you have that it's all easy and that I'm making a big deal
I never said
out
it's
of it.
easy. I'm
Yeah,
just
but if
saying
it's
you're telling
because-
me that. All right, no, I show you these things when you're telling me, oh, I'm not gonna be able to do anything. I'm not gonna be able to do jiu-jitsu anymore. I'm not gonna be able to do any of this. I'm like, this guy was doing a full workout.
But do you see why that's so annoying though?
Huh?
Do you see why that's annoying? It's like me turning around to you and being like...
And then the woman that went and won worlds with the baby.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, is that you can do that, but it's like me turning around to you. It's not exactly the same. I can't think of a perfect analogy, but it's like you turning around to me being like, oh, Kaira, can you write this caption? Yeah. And I'll be like, look at this person. He just finished his PhD and he's only got half a brain.
Is that the same?
Yeah, because it's... And you're like,
bad.
Okay, well...
That's bad.
I'm not asking you to do that.
That wasn't a good comparison.
Yeah, but it's just annoying because it's not relative.
Here's a good one. God damn, Kaira is looking fine in this episode. Lord.
Thanks.
You like that one? Last one was great episode. BJJ is not for me. I definitely do not need it in my life. However, I don't mind watching others get into entanglements. Mm-hmm. Love this episode. We want part 2 jiu-jitsu. That's all I needed to hear. I just needed one person to say they loved it. And then we're going to continue.
Yes.
So for the 99% of you that didn't love it, maybe, sorry, you should have commented saying you didn't love it. But the one person that said they did, that's the one I'm listening to. So next week, it's definitely going to be part 2 of the jiu-jitsu episodes.
No thumbs down.
No?
No thumbs down.
No thumbs down?
Yeah.
No thumbs down.
Someone was laughing at your leg drag pump.
Shout out to anyone who's taking that into the bedroom.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Oh, I like this. 47 years young newbie, stiff, and very different makes my brain work. Big up you if you like. I'm not sure what your full name is, Kari, but you're 47. You picked up a new hobby. That's a big thing. Like, I honestly think, I know I've said this before, but the key to staying young is to keep learning.
Keep moving.
Keep learning. Yeah. So
can you stop learning?
I'm proud of that. Whoever that subscriber or comment is, that's a big deal. Keep up jiu-jitsu.
One more comment.
Another comment here is, bro, when you're done with your sunny life, LV has his streaming set up. We're just waiting for you to complete the team. AMP 100. The UK cost of living won't matter. Money will roll in. It's you man's turn.
Yeah, man.
Can't you do streaming here though?
I could do streaming here. I don't think I've got the, like we're saying, about out of the matrix thing. Mm-hmm. Unless people want to sit and listen to me talk about that, I don't think
moaning.
I've got the energy for that.
Yeah, but I'm not into streaming culture.
Yeah.
So I don't mean this in a bad way, but is it just like you guys all just sitting and shouting at each other?
All right.
Is that what it is?
Maybe if I was around them, I'd have the energy for it. But here on my own,
just to let you guys
with you
know,
in the background, I'm not got the energy.
If you know, it's not nothing to do with me. Just do it, and I'm not in the house.
No.
Right. The thing is, if you guys have come through the pipeline of Bailey London, Mandem stuff or little shit, and you've come into this sphere, which I appreciate is a little bit different, then you've come through that way. If you haven't, go back and watch those videos. However, if you were someone who was a purveyor from the outside, one thing I have to say is it's very loud. It's very loud. When all you guys are together, it's extremely loud.
Yeah, but
like
you're an old
rooms can't contain it. Like you really should only be allowed to do stuff in like big open spaces.
No, they're doing it all in one. They've rented out a house and they all live in a house.
One question: how do you think that house smells?
No, I don't know if they got the cleaner, but I can imagine it being terrible. I always look at these streamer houses, like the big ones, like Kaisa and I think as rich as they are, I bet that house just has a funk to it.
A funk. Funk is the right word.
There's a little funk going and...
Yeah, musty.
I got something I want to talk about.
Oh, no.
Are we at war right now? Like real war? Like we're no longer talking about we might be at war. Are we at war? Yes or no?
As of today, recording day, no.
Wait, so bombs being sent, we're not at war?
When you say we, do you mean England? Like the United Kingdom?
World war. I'm hearing World War III.
We're definitely on the precipice of war, yeah.
That's mental. You know, I never thought I'd see a war in my lifetime.
But you did. You saw Afghanistan and Iraq.
And I was naive to think that wasn't really a war. That was just more of like a bad up situation.
No,
where like people are going and enforcing something somewhere.
Okay.
That's not really war. That's
technically, yes, that is what it was.
But
because
this feels
we had no business being there.
Yeah, but this feels like that's war.
Yeah, but this is the thing. This is picking up on the ignorance that really lives within the UK. Is because we're like, oh, because we didn't see anything happen, it's not a war. But we were doing over there. We had no...
We, England.
Yes. We had no business being in half those countries. And it has now come out, all of these 20 years later or whatever it is, that what was actually committed at that time by Tony Blair was a war crime. We did not have any evidence of nuclear weapons or weapons of mass destruction or whatever it was. So the premise to which they said that they were going in and got consent from us to go into those countries was false and therefore a lie and therefore a war crime. But now it's maybe seeming a little bit more pressing because it is more worldwide, because you've got Israel and Iran are threatening to then attack US and UK military bases if America have got involved, and now America have now sent over missiles.
I saw the UK was panic buying water from Costco.
Yeah.
Is that what's going on in the UK right now?
Yeah.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
More than just that.
But I think that's the reflection, is any time there is any sort of global worry.
Was that an old footage of COVID?
No, I'm pretty sure that was recent.
That was what it's looking.
Yeah, in Croydon Costco.
I can't believe that, man.
Yeah. People going out and buying, like, what's the word?
Bulk buying water.
Yeah, and probably lots of tinned food and things like that, and toilet roll.
It's so mad, because I swear, like, not even that long ago, I wasn't making jokes, but I was saying, like, even if there was, there's bunkers in the UK, but like no one really knows about them or what they are.
When everything was happening with Ukraine and Russia, or was still happening, we thought we were going to get drawn into that. But now it's even more likely.
Is that still going on as well? Simultaneously?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
there's so much.
And then you don't even get me started on Congo and Sudan and everything that's going on in Africa. Like, there is so much disarray, disruption, chaos, pandemonium, like awful things that are going on across the world right now, like actual awful. And it's a shame, because obviously I don't want to make it too serious, but it is a shame because, in my opinion, when you watch Trump and you look at his, well, they're not tweets because he has his own social network, which is fucking bonkers. But when you look at his statements and how he speaks, we're just pawns to him. The American citizens are just pawns to him. Like,
when you say we're not American.
No, I just said we, but I meant like we as the people. And then I also followed up with American citizens. I just think they're just pawns. Like, I don't think he's really, like, he just seems so unserious. Like, the way they speak to each other, the way that, like, he's not even got support from the whole of his the way Trump Parliament
moves on like, when I see him having these like meetings and like press conferences and that, he doesn't move how you expect someone in his position to move. He moves like an immature, moody
frat boy.
Yeah, he moves like someone with an attitude that's the power's gone to his head.
But that's exactly what it is.
But I don't believe a president has that much power. Like, they always say they're puppets. Is he not a puppet anymore?
Said it over. He's definitely, there's aspects of it that's a puppet.
Running his own thing now.
But like, he sent missiles without even getting it confirmed from the rest of his.
Can he do that though?
Yes, of course he can.
I don't know if he can.
Of course he can.
I don't know if he can.
He's president of one of the biggest world powers in the world.
I feel like there has to be a process from a decision.
What do you mean
like
he can't? He got impeached.
Has he got the button?
He got impeached, and now he's back. What do you mean he can't do anything?
No, as in like,
he got impeached.
No, but listen to what I'm saying. I don't know what impeached means.
Don't you remember a couple of years ago with the whole thing with your dad when they took him out of the White House and all of that, and he had you're not allowed.
No, but I'm saying, when he says I'm gonna bomb people, it's
which
not.
he has.
It's not like how we know in the movies where he's got a button at the desk. It's probably behind a whole bunch of security. He's got a walkthrough. I'm saying, all these people, no one said like this is a bad idea.
Everyone's saying it's a bad idea, but it doesn't matter
irrationally
because
make a decision.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what he does.
I believe there's a group of them making them.
But he's also got his little.
I think there's a whole
there is a group of him. You've got JD Vance, you've got all of those people that are behind him, but they're all there going like this in his arse because all they want to do is be next. And the moment that they think that he's looking weak in any way, which unfortunately is not seeming imminent, they will be stepping up and trying to take over. It's all, and this is what I mean, is like when I say Trump, I mean the whole, like it just seems like even like Keir Starmer, everyone, it's like they're not even, it's like, do you realise that this is like human lives you're dealing with? Like we're not talking about, oh, if we just do this, not even money, and money's serious, yeah, and oil and all that stuff is serious, of course, but they're not even talking about money and oil, they're talking about lives.
The thing I'm worried about is in this day and age, 2025, yeah, the bombs are what we're seeing and are making us panic and stuff.
Missiles, yeah.
Missiles and stuff. But I don't even think that's like, I'm worried about the real attacks that are going to happen, which are definitely going to be AI and cyber attacks.
I think that would be a massive part of it, yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like we should take all our money out of the bank.
What?
I think we should take it all out of the bank.
I can't even take my money out, I don't think, in this country.
Man, it's a scary time we're living in, man. 2020.
Yeah.
We've been thinking since 2020. When was the first time we thought the world was going to end?
People
Before 2020, we always thought 2020 or 2022.
People.
I remember there used to be a year.
There was always a year.
No, but
yes,
like
there
2018 to 2019.
In 2000, we didn't think we would get past the millennium.
Somebody predicted an ending.
There's so many of them, babe. Trust me, there is. There was 2000. There was one in I remember one when I was at school. I think it was 2007 or something like that. There's always, the world's going to end. The world's going to end. If you speak to the Mormons, it will be again next week, and then they'll change their mind. If you speak to this group of people, do you know what I mean? They've always predicted the end of the world. However...
And you know what I saw? I don't know if it was real, yeah? But it was like a big ship in China. Like a not a ship in the water.
A plane.
But not like a commercial plane, a big one. And it released thousands of drones out each side. So imagine them we're in war now and Croydon, all their panic buying. And the ship just comes over and sends drones out. And now everyone's got to get in their yard. Oh, this is starting to look like the Matrix, people. We don't even have the underground infrastructure.
Not you know of.
Not that we know of, yeah, because it's definitely there. I reckon you can get to it from the underground.
See what I mean?
I reckon, when you go underground, there's certain doors that are locked. I reckon if you go through those doors, you just keep...
No, do you not remember that film, that horror film?
What?
Oh my God, what was it called? And she falls asleep in the tube station in London.
No.
And then she wakes up and then she's underground and then he's some odd, weirdo psycho that lives underneath there and holds experiments and has a doctor's coat and stuff. And there's bare people locked underneath the underground. No. That freaked me out for so long, that film. Being on my own on the tubes, I was thinking something's going to happen. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be locked in the London Underground. Then they started night tubes. So.
Can I ask something though? You might have said it already. Why was the UK panic buying? If this is happening in America? I
don't know, but I think it's because anything that happens globally makes people have these reactions. And there is a group of people, someone comment this in the comments because...
Because Carl started a survival thing in his garage.
Yeah, that's what... There's a word for them. They're called existentialists or... survivalists or there's a word for them where they're planning for
he started stocking up dried fish and stuff in his shed and cans. Is this is it that serious? I know we're not.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not looking at you to help us.
What do you mean? Expect to survive?
No.
You're a fool. Remember that when you're begging me to take you with me when I'm when you see when we're in floods here and you see me in my rubber dinghy sailing away.
That's my point.
You're here crying.
Every time I say what happens if we have a typhoon or a flood here, he says, "Well, I've got my my lilo. That's going to do anything."
The floods was going to be just mashing up things that you care about. I'll be floating away.
Not on a lilo, you can't.
You can't survive the hit. But once it's, I'm talking about when you see on the news.
You're thinking of fucking Evan Almighty, where there's a big flooding and there's all these people on top. This is not a film. This is not a drill.
All I'm saying is, if you had to survive anything, don't be fooled to think I'm not going to be the one that helps you.
I'm not saying it's a wrong thing to be stocking up and doing stuff, but I'll be honest, like, I shared something, I think it was yesterday on my story, which is an MP. I've spoken about her before. Her name's Zara Sultana. I think, like, she is an MP, right? And she is against a lot of these things that are happening, and no one's even listening to her. They're speaking over her. They're like, I just genuinely feel so hopeless with everything that's going on in the world. It's not that I'm saying I'm where you're at, but I definitely, like, you know, like when we was on the beach and you was just saying, oh, I just don't care about any of it because I feel kind of helpless. I'm getting closer to that because I just think, how are we here? Like, it's such a crazy state. But then equally, every generation has had these awful things that have been happening. Yeah. And you asked an interesting question the other day, and this is one thing for us artists to hold on to. You said to me the other day, what happens after there's a war in the world? Like, what happens generally? Because the world continues, right?
Yeah, I was saying because I feel like everything's on, like, things loop. Like recessions, wars, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I was trying to say, after wars, what's like the next thing that happens?
So it's going to get worse before it gets better. So the fact of the matter is that if we look historically, what happens afterwards is that there is a period of austerity where there's less money. The government have higher taxes because the cost of war. This is another thing that pisses me off. You can't pay nurses, you can't pay teachers, you got people starving out there. You're taking all the bills from the old people who are freezing to death, but you've got billions, not an exaggeration, billions of pounds for war that we don't even fucking want. Anyway, so what happens afterwards is there will be a period where they need to recoup money. But then, because people get pissed off at war, people get impassioned about the lack of money, there's always an artistic revolution afterwards. And that is...
Artistic revolution? Well, like Banksy?
Yeah, that's one example. Your cultural knowledge.
What's an artistic revolution?
I'm just saying, like, there will be like a revolution of artists who are like, they
making
always
poems
come out
about war.
Not just about the war, but about like the state of the country. Like, that's how even hip hop, like, that was
I'm baffled. I'm not trying to annoy you. I want to be on board.
I'm just saying that at the end of everything that happens like that, whenever there is a difficult thing that's happened in the world, and particularly because we know that austerity and taking from the people usually happens to the working class, right? And those are the people that become the next generation of angry, impassioned artists.
And when you say artists, just to be clear, you mean
I mean everything. Creatives. Yeah. Everything.
Okay.
Which I think is...
What's an example of that from the last war?
So, from the last war...
You said after a war.
What war are you talking about?
You said after a war, you have the... Whatever you just called that. Artists.
Austerity. So that means when they take and
No. What's the first thing you said?
An artistic revolution.
An artistic revolution. What's an example of an artistic revolution?
So, for example, you always will have contrast, right? So when there was the war going on in the 70s and you had like Vietnam, you also had the hippies, and you also had creations of like the biggest festivals that we see today, Glastonbury and all these things. Okay. You also have like the like the peace, love, like no war, and like all of the music that came from that. Just like there was a lot of like protests music. Even, for example, you could look at other awful things that have happened, like Nina Simone, right? So one of the best writers and like artists, she wrote about, people being lynched. Like, these things happen, and people have like proper art, whether that be authors, singers, artists, whatever, rappers, whatever it might be. They're the storytellers of our generation.
Yeah.
So, as a smallest sliver of a silver lining, maybe we're going to have some sort of crazy new art that's going to come from all of this shit.
Flowers grow from shit.
Yeah, what's that Tupac song?
Maybe that's the first...
Rose from a Concrete.
Oh, someone already done that.
I'm pretty sure that was...
I'm about to say that would be my artistic revolution.
Right.
I'm gonna lead with
Flowers grow from shit.
Flowers grow from shit.
I mean, it's not your most...
Bailey London. Flowers grow from shit. 2026.
Don't know if it's gonna catch on.
Post-war.
What's your favourite, like, if you had to say your favourite artistic medium, what is it?
What? Artistic medium?
Yeah.
As in, like, painting's one, music's another. My favourite artistic medium? To do or to admire? My favourite artistic medium? It's definitely got to be, like, series.
So film.
Yeah, visual. Yours is music.
Probably.
You can't say it's not.
Probably would be music, yeah.
Yours is music. But to do, it's going to be different because you don't do music. So to do, maybe
What do
for
you
you
mean?
is
I'm an amazing singer.
maybe yours is writing.
Yeah.
But for me, mine is music.
To do.
Hand it to me.
Oh, God's sake.
Hand it to me. Sounds a bit out. Ooh, it's getting dragged through the bush.
I thought I
All out of tune.
I sat on it the other day. I thought I broke it.
You took it out of tune. I thought we'd end the show by showing them my progression.
Okay.
Could we say?
Yeah. To end the show, I would like to have some requests for you guys, which is to make sure that you like, that you comment, you subscribe, and you follow. And you make sure that you are also tuning in next week. We have been Chatterbox, and you have been fantastic. What is at the end of Anchorman that he says? Stay sunny, or something like that. And now we've got Bailey, who's going to play us out on his ukulele. Ukulele.
If we go back to the UK, I'm definitely going to go
Ukulele.
Ukulele.
Yeah.
If we go back to the UK, I'm definitely going to stand in the underground.
Please don't.
I need somebody next to me. I was scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and making conversation, but all my friends are turning green. You're the magician's assistants in their dreams. Now,
it's very good.
Ratings.
Yeah, that's very good. Well done.
Levels.
Well done.
Levels. I'll play them out. Tune in next week, guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, because you know it does good things for the channel. But today I don't feel like doing anything. I just wanna play my ukulele.
Please make sure that you're sending any dilemmas, any jiu-jitsu stuff into chatterbox.contact@gmail.com. Please go watch our last episode that was sponsored by Adapt Jiu-Jitsu. Support us in any way that you can. And if you are sticking with us despite all of our arguments, despite some beginner but progressing ukulele playing, despite me moaning and talking all the time, despite his lack of understanding, then you are a real one and we appreciate you. Don't lie.